we are. So this is the first Real Estate Oasis podcast. So we're going to be coming to you all every week to share, what we're learning about on real estate, Puerto Rico, interesting projects that folks are working on, and I think we're going to have some guests as well. So we're going to just start this week with a couple of introductions. My name is Maiki Paul. I just moved to the island a couple of months ago with my husband, and we were doing real estate, affordable housing in a couple of markets, Philly, Baltimore, DC, and we're really excited to continue that here because there's a great need and make some important impact. So I'm going to pass it to Robbie. Introduce yourself a little bit and talk about our sponsor as well.
Yeah, thanks, Maiki. So I'm Robbie Crager. Hopefully you guys are already following us on Facebook and YouTube, and several of us have channels and stuff. We'll try and put the links below. I do want to mention that we have a sponsor, which is amazing. Dollar Zing is our sponsor. They're going to actually sponsor the REIA Rico, and Zachary will talk more about REIA Rico, which is an exciting group that's just started a few months ago on the island. Dollar Zing is a mobile money gifting and receiving app for peer-to-peer to charities platform. And their vision is to create a new category in gaming called social conscious gaming, using trust, transparency, technology for community members to gift and receive receive together benefits for the entire community. So check out Dollar Zing at dollarzing.com, and we'll put a link to them as well in the description below. And we just are really excited that they have stepped up and that they're sponsoring the REIA Rico for the 23rd. And so we'll talk more about the REIA Rico, and you can see the sign here as we move forward. But so Zachary, you want to tell us about yourself and then your group?
Yeah, I'm Zachary. I just moved here to Puerto Rico, San Juan, 10 months ago, and pretty quickly we started this group, the Real Estate Investors Association of Puerto Rico, and it's a meetup group. We meet every fourth Thursday of the month, just for a couple hours, I think 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., and we usually have a speaker. We have a really great speaker this September 23rd. His name's Adan Greenfader, and he's going to be talking about some projects that he has in parts of the island in Umacao, really large project, and he's really dynamic on the island. I think he's been here like over 20 years or something, so he's a really good contact. And we started this group in February of 2021, and it's been really successful. I think there's been a huge need to meet and have kind of a collaboration in person. We're starting to create a live stream and have Zooms and stuff like that for people, so people could access it outside of Puerto Rico, or if they're not available, to come on Thursday. So we also have a whole bunch of other events, like the trade group that we do once a week, or we trade real estate, and also the deal makers Saturday meetup, Saturday early morning, 7:30 in the morning. Try to motivate or get the motivated people that are willing to wake up that early and talk about real estate, talk about deals that can be made, how to structure it. So these are some of the things that we're doing, and we really want to try to bring more support and have. We have a membership that's $249 a year to have all the content. We have a WhatsApp group where people can collaborate and get information and data. That's how we met, in fact.
Yeah, exactly.
So Mikey's been really supportive about our group and collaborating on the island. So yeah, we're super excited.
Yeah, I found a lot of value in it. Felix, I met you there and learned about your project. You want to introduce yourself?
Yes, for sure. So, hi, my name is Felix Parreras. I am the head of investor relations and business development for Lifeafar Capital. We're a small private equity firm that's focusing on developing boutique hotels here in Puerto Rico. We have 2 projects here, one in San Juan, one on the West Coast. And we'll be talking a little bit later about the projects. I'm also helping a group called OC Works. I'm one of their how can I say, collaborators for the Puerto Rico Opportunity Zone part of the group. So yeah, I'm also very happy, to answer any questions related to opportunity zones and help people with, navigating that particular opportunity here in Puerto Rico. So yeah.
I already have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why Puerto Rico? What brought you back? Because you're from here. You're born here.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about your journey.
Yeah, correct. I gotta start a little bit back. So I graduated out of school here. I studied mechanical engineering in the University of Puerto Rico, Mayagüez. Engineering wasn't really my thing, so I was looking for opportunities, both in Puerto Rico and outside Puerto Rico. And I had an opportunity with Goldman Sachs to go work with them in Salt Lake City, Utah. So I worked with them in the operations division, specifically supporting the investment management division of Goldman Sachs. It was very fulfilling work. It was definitely a very good learning opportunity. But after 2 years, I said, you know what, I really need to come back to the island. Obviously, a little bit about my personal story. But I just had to come back to the island, and I said, you know what, there's no better time than right now. So a year ago, pretty much, almost a year ago exactly, I decided to come back to Puerto Rico. I started looking for new opportunities, and I found this amazing opportunity that's happening right now here with real estate, and not only real estate, but I think the one thing that stands out about Puerto Rico is all this entrepreneur community that's happening here. So not only with groups like REIA, there's we got REIA, we got Crypto Mondays, we got Uncommon Entrepreneurs. So there's a bunch of things happening in the island that's just very exciting. And I think once I found all of those groups, I got hooked on it. And I'm definitely going more towards the path of entrepreneurship than just the path of being corporate worker or something like that.
I mean, you said it. There's no better time than right now, and it feels like there's this exciting energy. I'm Caribbean, was born in Haiti, and always try to find a reason to get back to the Caribbean because of the lifestyle, the culture, and there's so much innovation on the island, so many interesting things being done that I just can't wait to even use for other places and learn from. So I think it's just this is exactly what you said, the entrepreneurial spirit, the opportunities. It's amazing.
And comparing it, for example, to my last city, which was again Salt Lake City, Utah. It's a beautiful city, and definitely there's a big tech entrepreneurial community there. But compared to what's happening in Puerto Rico, I think Puerto Rico definitely stands out compared to anywhere in the States. Granted, I'm a little bit biased because I'm Puerto Rican.
we might all be, but
that's why we're here, right?
Exactly.
And you bring up the markets in the States, Robbie. You were in Florida.
Yep.
Many years of experience. Yep. Tell us a little bit about that and why you're here in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. So we've been doing this real estate investing since 1997. Someone asked me earlier. So almost 24 years. And things got really good in Florida, which is bad for an investor. So it made it a little bit harder to find the deals that were going to make us high returns. And we were looking for a new market. Maria happened. We've been through a hurricane cycle a half a dozen times in the last 20-something years. And so that sort of drove home the need. Maybe that was God prompting us that we should go to Puerto Rico. We had some other markets picked out, but so glad we chose here and get to live in this beautiful paradise. And the returns are great. Why are we here? We're here because we're looking for our money to go further, our returns to be larger, and for a little bit more opportunity than we could find back home. And honestly, I think Felix hit it on the head. There's just so much entrepreneurism. There's so much opportunity post REIA, the storm.
Yes.
The collaboration that's here is amazing. These groups that Felix was talking about and Zachary runs, they provide an experience like no other. I mean, I've been to networking things in the States, nothing like this in Puerto Rico. Every person who's there has done something so exciting and special from wherever they came from, that they're here now trying to avoid the high taxes of California or New York, and they are all one smarter than the next, and they've just exited their companies right before they came and made a bunch of money, and they come here. And so anyways, we just feel really blessed that we're able to be here and to take advantage of all of the opportunity that there is on the island. So.
And the quality of life here too.
Oh my gosh,
it's huge. I'm from LA originally, and love LA, but it's different. It's a lot different, and of course the people are different. I think there's a huge abundancy mindset. It's not about this scarcity competition, you against us against them kind of thing. And people are really creative, and they're willing to collaborate and come together as opposed to isolate. So I think it's a really creative community that that inspired me to come here. I was in LA my whole life, and when I came over here, I fell in love with the island because I'd never come here before, and I had an opportunity to come here, and I was just like, yeah. Someone told me it's similar to Cuba, so it's kind of like
similar to Cuba.
I was on vacation for 3 days in Cuba, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll give it a try. And I'm pretty risk tolerant. I think a lot of people here are willing to change their whole life and move to an island. It seems a little far-fetched. It seems a little out of the box, but I think it works. It creates a really creative environment here. So it's exciting, and I'm happy to be a part of it, definitely.
I like what you said. I think we should talk about the risk tolerance that there is in coming to an island like Puerto Rico, but also the lack of the risk that once you're here, we are the United States of America. So while it's an island like Cuba, this is still the United States of America. The dollar is still the dollar. The government is still the government that you're dealing with. So there are so many positive things, and a lot of times when I even talk to friends back home, they're like, what part of Costa Rica is Puerto Rico in?
Yeah.
Or
Puerto Vallarta.
where in South America is that?
Yeah,
It's like, so I think it's important to kind of state that this is very much like Florida. It is very much like where you come from in LA, in that so many things are similar, and that there's not this real big risk of.
And there's a comfort there, familiarity.
For sure.
There's Costco's, there's Walmart, there's McDonald's and things that.
There's paved roads and automobiles and.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mistaken assumptions. Basically, we were talking about you're investing in a foreign country. No, this is not a foreign country. However, there's a lot of similarities, but a lot of really great, unique things with the culture and people that we also like to highlight too. A very unique place to be, and everyone comes from the different perspectives. It's just like a very inclusive environment. It feels like too, and I think some of the creative things that you can do as well, even with affordable housing here, there's such a great need, but there's so much support from the government to promote affordable housing. There's a lot of different projects being done. You have a speaker actually about to come for the REIA the next REIA meeting, who's doing a large project out east, is it? That includes some affordable housing and things like that.
Yeah, in Macau. Yeah, it's a huge project. I think they were in the permitting process for 11 years. So it's got 500 cuartas. I think 200 cuartas, which is similar to acres, is affordable housing. They've got a solar farm, and it's going to bring a lot of jobs to the island, and it's really exciting. So we're really happy to highlight that project and try to bring awareness about it and bring more investors there and all that. I think it's really exciting. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, awesome. And Felix, you have also a project out west.
Yeah.
I think we're real estate folks, and we like to get into the nitty gritty. Okay, how'd you find this? How'd you finance it?
Yeah.
I know there's some things under an NDA, and
Yes,
we'll
correct.
include a link, so anyone who
Correct.
wants to know more about Felix's awesome project can go to the link and
For
find
sure.
out more details. But give us a little bit.
Thank you. Sure. And Robbie's a testament to this too. But Puerto Rico is also not only on the affordable housing, but it's also looking to develop the tourism market here in Puerto Rico. So, for example, when we're comparing ourselves to the Dominican Republic has 85,000 hotel rooms, whereas Puerto Rico only has 11,000.
Yeah.
So there's a big opportunity there to really develop hotel rooms and really develop hotels on the island, and that's what Lifeafar is definitely trying to do. So, like you mentioned, we do have a project on the West Coast. We do have another one in San Juan. And we were successful in getting the Act 74 tourism tax credits for that one, and we're expecting to do the same thing for the one in Rincon. And what that 40% tourism tax credits encompasses is, 40% of the development cost of the project is given in the form of tax credits.
Crazy.
So it makes developing hotels in Puerto Rico very enticing for us and for other people that are looking to invest into the island.
And going back to that risk theme, it mitigates your risk.
Yeah, sure.
There's so many things like that. When you think about it financially, because real estate is a numbers game.
Yeah.
At the end, so many things mitigating your risk, right?
Yeah, for sure.
With the incentives, the environment, the willingness to try new things, new projects, and really push them forward.
Yeah, and to that, if you compare a project, for example, a hotel project, and Robbie, you're more familiar with the Florida market. But if you compare the numbers here in Puerto Rico versus Florida, for example, for a development like ours, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
Like our RRR is projected around 22-25%, and then the RRI around 15%. There's just, they're really, really good numbers for our investors here. So, and I know Robbie has some cool projects that he's also developing on the West Coast that he can talk a little bit more about.
We're moving into that space, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't come here for that. We came here to buy inexpensive real estate and have long-term rental properties, and we did that. We did 50 or 60 flips the first couple of years we were here, and we've got a couple hundred doors of long-term rents. But as we've been here for now 3.5 years, we have moved into this operations company that is running and developing hospitality projects and taking advantage of Act 74. It's now called Act 60. But that is a wonderful act. Puerto Rico's like the gift that keeps giving, and I say that often, that you take these projects that have these massive returns, and then, oh, by the way, you can get 40% of your entire development costs and purchase price back in the way of tax credits.
Do people believe you when you say that?
No, it's hard to convince.
People.
I will say, though, we now have an actual tax decree in hand, and I just heard you say that you have one as well. So it is absolutely happening, and I can now firsthand testify to it. When we first started, we're like, are we really going to get these tax credits? Is this something that's going to happen? So now we've got them in hand, and we're just looking to liquidate them now before the end of the year, and then I'll do a video all about the glorious day that will be, that they hand us $100,000 back on a small investment that we did in Keto. So
amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Only Puerto Rico.
And one theme we kind of want to highlight is partnerships and how you get things done on the island, and that's very different from the markets we've been in, where it's somewhat competitive. You don't want to share information, but that's not how we work here. So
no, it's not. We're very collaborative here in Puerto Rico, and so I think PR consultants, it's in our DNA. For 3.5 years, I've made a purposeful habit of telling people that we like to do partnerships, and now when I go to these groups, I can really look around the room, and there's usually lots of people. I don't know how many, but there's several, and you guys know this. We've partnered with on different deals, so it's very much unlike what we would all typically think of when you think about starting a business and getting your foothold out there. It's a very competitive dog eat dog world.
Us versus them.
Us versus them, and I mean, it's one of the most enjoyable things that I find about the lifestyle on the island is that there is this this mindset of just kind of a servant's heart and pitching in
and abundancy. There's enough for everyone.
And I like that term. There's an abundancy, and that might be because as we're coming from somewhere else and we're here, some of us have an abundance, right? And so we're able to pitch in and help with those that don't, and everybody seems to have that servant's heart. So
yeah,
it's really awesome.
It's a beautiful thing.
And I hope that that will continue. I don't want to see, as more and more people come, you get into this ultra competitiveness. That'll probably ruin things, but hopefully that's not going to be the case. So, I mean, that's what we're all doing here, right? We're collaborating. We've all got our own kind of agendas and our own social media stuff, our own businesses going on, but we're happy to pitch in together and to
create something.
I think I probably promote Felix's projects more than I even promote my own, especially if Felix is around. But even when he's not, I mean, I'm Felix, am I right? So I'm constantly saying, hey, Felix has got a great project.
It is a really great project.
And it is a really cool project.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then...
No, it's very true. And you know, to that point, that's not only for us in the real estate world, but you go to a lot of this other events, and normally, you know, you hit it off with someone and you start talking to someone, they'll say like, oh yeah, I know someone else that I'm also working with, you know. Like it's a collaboration not only in the real estate space, but also like in all of the communities that are here in Puerto Rico.
It's like there's two separations between everyone on the island. I mean, in most places...
6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
In the rest of the world, 2 degrees here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a really small island. I mean, it's not. I mean, it takes 3.5 hours to get to one side or the other, but as far as relationships goes, like everyone knows each other very quickly. So.
Yep, correct.
And I think it engenders a sense like you want to do right by people, you know, you want to help where you can, because I mean, real estate for me and my partner has been really about like kind of building generational wealth, and especially as young people too, like you're just starting out and there's a lot you don't know, you know, you're figuring out on the way, and here it's just like, man, I need to figure out how to search the public records, you know, I'll hit up Fabian or I'll ask Zachary or Catherine sent me like the Land Grid app and like, oh, here are the 3 apps you need to look up, you know, property records, and it makes your learning go so much faster when you have people who are like, I get it, it's a new environment, I've been there, let me help you, let's see how we can work together, because then like in the, you know, couple of months we've been here, like that learning has just been exponential when you can tap into groups like REIA and Uncommon Entrepreneurs, where you're meeting other people who are doing a lot of different things and finding ways to collaborate.
Uncommon Entrepreneurs was pivotal for me. I think I found that group within like 3 days of me being here, and I love Drew and Brian. They're seriously... They epitomize the abundancy mindset, the collaboration, and
for sure.
I started. I didn't even have WhatsApp before I came here, and someone showed me this spreadsheet of all the WhatsApp groups here in Puerto Rico, and it's been pivotal. It's been huge to connect with people so quickly in all areas, in real estate and business, but also dating, fishing, all the above.
Hunting lizards.
Iguana hunting, exactly.
I've heard there's a Toyota Corolla WhatsApp group.
No kidding.
Cars.
There's something for everything.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, it's probably the most sold car here in the island, so
Really?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, there's a WhatsApp group for everything.
Yeah.
Because people know it's like about sharing information, and you know, it's one of the key ways is through these relationships and groups.
I totally agree. And it's been very. I mean, for me personally too. Like that's how I got into this world. Like that's how I met all of you guys. It's been through networking here, and not only again through the REIA, but also Uncommon Entrepreneurs, Crypto Mondays, like you name it. They're great networking events here on the island for everyone, and for everyone to connect.
And they're each serving a different need, and then collaborating together.
Yeah.
I mean, the Uncommon Entrepreneurs, when you're new to the island, they are the place to be. Like that is how you get connected in here. I really believe that. Anybody who's coming new to the island, what should I do to get connected? I lead them to Uncommon Entrepreneurs every single time. There's just a great network there. So
and it mixes everyone, because there's a huge crypto community here. There's a huge real estate community. Big long-term investors, and they're all there collaborating and talking and figuring things out, and it's really special. It's basically like a big party. I mean, everyone's drinking and eating and everything like that, but it's good times for sure.
Yeah.
And they have one now in San Juan, but also in Dorado and Palmas and in Rincon. So they're spreading around the island, which is good. So much is very, I don't want to say territorial, but like a lot of people, real estate agents especially, they have their area that they farm, they know, and branching out and seeing other areas of the island and other projects and everything like that. I think it's so important because it's so dynamic, it's so different.
Yeah.
There's literally so many places you can go and see different stuff. Not only like in the topography.
There are these groups happening almost every night of the week, and I'll plug you for a minute in the Rio Rico because you guys are new on the scene and you've done an incredible job of providing great value for those of us that are members. And I highly encourage anybody watching that if you're not a member now, join the Rio Rico. We're doing weekly deal makers. We do the trade group is brand new now.
Lunch and learns.
You have lunch and learns. Do you do that every week?
We're starting to. Yeah.
Starting to do that every week. You've got your main meeting once a month.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really, really huge value for this, and it's $250 for the entire year. And of course, we're trying to drive membership your way. But I just anybody watching, I highly encourage if you're on the island, get plugged in with the Rio Rico, especially if you like. Well, that's a great point because now we're talking about live streaming this stuff and opening them up to being able to see this guy speak on the 23rd. Through a Zoom, or how are you going to do that?
Yeah, I think we are going to try to do like a exclusive Zoom live stream.
Members.
Yeah, for members. Because a lot of people are searching for how do we rent a home, how do we find a home, how do we find this or that, and we want to be able to provide a resource that it's a lot easier than it is right now because it can be very difficult to try to find the data and
data in Puerto Rico.
What? Data?
Yeah.
Felix, though, that's your thing at the Rio Rico. You're always giving us the scoop, like every month, right?
It's I mean, it's hard to come by data in Puerto Rico. You can definitely find it. It's and that's a great point. I think for everyone that's coming new to the island and it's thinking about like MLS systems and all that in the States, it is different, and that's the opportunity.
Exactly.
Like I think that's what makes Puerto Rico unique. And if you're willing to come here and combat all of those things that might be a little bit different than the States, the upside is a lot better here than anywhere else on the planet, I think. But again, Puerto Rican, I'd be biased.
I totally agree with that. Like, I'm a data analytics person in my day job, and like one of the things that's really tough is like you can't just consolidate all of the rents, to compare like what features are really rented well. Like there's no way to run comps sometimes, or at least that's what I thought. But then coming to Rio Rico, the lunch and learns. Okay, we learned that there's the cream. There are different pieces that you can start to put together to start to create basically your own database.
Yep, and you can crunch it.
So like weekly, like Travis, my husband, knows, like I'm like on my computer creating my own little spreadsheets of like, the apartment sizes, the bedrooms, the bathrooms, what did it sell for, and it's kind of exciting because you're in the weeds and getting to see what other people may not be putting in the time to see. So sometimes that information asymmetry that creates that opportunity, right?
Correct.
Like you're doing the things that maybe, people don't want to do necessarily.
Yeah,
but
you got to hustle a little bit more to.
I would say it's a little bit harder, but there's
The
a
upside.
much bigger upside.
Yep.
We're buying and talked about the LTRs, long-term rentals. So on a price per door, we can be way under anything that you could do, anything on the East Coast of the United States, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And we're looking at LTR deals that if they're not going to net a 25% return, then we just look at it in a different way. Maybe that becomes a flip, or maybe that's just something that we don't do altogether. That's unheard of. We're routinely finding multifamilies that you can buy with huge equity, get renters in there quickly. There's a real need for this type of housing, and then the returns are stupid good. So. At least for me, I mean, if I can buy something and have it pay for itself in 4 years or 3.5 years, and some of these things that we have 2.5 years, they pay for themselves. Oh, it's a dream. It's a dream scenario.
we use you as our benchmark. Like, all right, Robbie, this is the data collection too. Robbie's getting 40%. We got to try to get 25, 30 at least, you're like that benchmark that we're looking at.
Yeah, 40% is, one, and then another's 25, but they're all good, right? They really are all good. So.
And we're all in different stages. I think that's what's really cool. Some of us are more in the beginning stages of real estate or investing, and to your credit, you're willing to collaborate and share information and share deals. I mean, like whatever it is, I think that's huge. So a lot of people are still learning. They're still trying to get their foot in the door. You know what I mean? So it's huge to have that resource.
Well, and for me, the more the merrier. I think that as people come to the island and they start to fix things up, and I've been here for a little while longer, and I own some things. It's great to see the neighborhoods start to come up. It's wonderful to see parts of towns, entire blocks.
You were
They
talking
change
about
in 3 years from ugh to really nice.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember you were talking about being in the hurricane cycle in Florida and having, I think you said like 5 years,
Sure.
or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're starting to see the cranes.
Yeah.
Go over that a little bit.
I mean, so this is just from experience what I've seen. I don't know where I'd find the data to prove this, but I think it's a 5-year cycle. That's what we've seen, and we've been through it probably a half a dozen times in the last 23 years.
You mean generally in real estate?
Generally in real estate, after a big name storm comes through town and
Tears it up.
kicks everything's ass and tears it up, then there's a recovery phase, and it takes about 5 years. So what
We're right there with Hurricane.
we're right there, yeah. And
Yeah.
what you see and what we've seen in Puerto Rico is, the first stage is just kind of clean up everything and get going back to life, and then you start to see the insurance money come in, and things start to get better. And generally, you'll see, and I think in Puerto Rico, it's even kind of more so than in Florida, where there was a 10-year recession here. They never recovered from the 2008 market crash. So pre-Maria, it was difficult to have a job here, especially in construction. So post-Maria, anybody who wants to work has a job. And you can see that in industry after industry after industry. Yeah. And I think Puerto Rico's right on that 5-year cycle, and I do judge things by how many cranes are in the skyline as to what's a real estate market looking like. When we first came to the island, there was one crane on the entire island. Now, 3.5 years later, as you drive around San Juan, there's probably a dozen or so in different areas of the island. So, and I think in another year and a half, you're literally going to see the skyline will be, they'll be just littered with it. So, hopefully one day I'll have a project that has a crane. That's like a bucket list item for me. I want to have a great big crane building something awesome and magnificent. So. We'll see.
I like it.
What's your bucket list item? Like, what would you like to see in a year from now in either your endeavors or anything with Puerto Rico?
I really want to start a glamping project. So glorified camping, I think it's what it's called. This is really exciting on the island. So we have the only rainforest in the States here, El Yunque. Is a really great. I've been around there a little bit. I've dropped out the waterfalls and stuff like that. It's a really huge destination, so a lot of people come to go there. And I want to have maybe yurts or some tents or some geometric domes or some tree houses that people can rent out and have a cool space that's possibly air conditioned or possibly nice, not just a tent with a sleeping bag, but actually like some amenities and some nice decor, and people can rent out for and have an experience. People want to have an experience out there in the rainforest with the coquis and enjoy that really unique experience. So I want to have a glamping campsite, maybe like 10 or more of these types of units that I can rent out. I've just started doing Airbnbs here in Miramar, and it's been excellent. 100% occupancy so far. I think we've been in operation for a little less than a month, and there's a huge need for like what you're talking about with hotel rooms and Airbnbs.
Yep.
and so glamping.
Yeah. And how about talking about like how you would kind of bring that project to fruition, because I think a lot of people might be interested in, okay, I want to do something similar, I want to get a campsite going. Like, what do you think about when you're going through that, like, that ideation and making it into a reality? Because I think kind of bringing the incentives and how to do that, young entrepreneurs grant, like, how would you structure that deal?
Yeah. So I look for places, raw land or land with maybe just one or two structures on it that have possibly electricity or plumbing already done, so you don't have to go through that. It'd be also ideal to have the permitting, for residential or commercial. But I've identified a property in Canovanas, which is really close to El Yunque, like 20 minutes away. And it's a really unique property. I think it's like 9 cuartas, and it has a river on it. It's like flat, and then it goes down a little bit, and then flat, and then it goes down, and then there's a river. And I think it's perfect for, putting some. I haven't identified which structure I want to do. I'm thinking containers at one point was an idea, although I had a designer that was a little apprehensive about that. She was saying that it's not ideal for to. Once you have the container, you need to cut holes for the windows and stuff like that, and you mess with the integrity of the structure.
You can
R value goes
You
through
can
the
mitigate against that.
Oh yeah.
You have some
You can
containers, too.
reinforce the windows and the doors, and you can make them stronger than they've ever been. So, I mean, we've built 8 of them so far, and I say we, but we've commissioned 6, and then we bought a couple from some other young entrepreneurs that were building them, and they're awesome. They're closer to hotel rooms, I think, than they are glamping. I mean, certainly they're air conditioned and they're cool, but they've got a great story too. I mean, you're taking a shipping container that's otherwise just kind of an eyesore and you turn it into something cool. So you're really upcycling it. We call it upcycling them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's good. It goes in with the glamping. So you may do a combination of shipping containers and yurts or
Tree houses.
Yeah, and we can talk about that because I've looked at a lot of different options. So
really?
we can talk about that later.
Where are those projects that you have? I think on the west side of the island?
So yeah, right now we're putting shipping containers in this week in Rincon. So
wow.
we've got a trailer park there that we moved a couple of trailers to another spot, and we're gonna infill with 4 upcycled shipping containers. And what's cool about that is we go from like a lot rent of $425 times 2, so $850 to something that'll probably look like a lot more like $12,000 a month. So $4,000 a piece for these upcycled shipping containers. I'm certainly going to let you know if it's true.
All right, thanks, Zachary, for sharing your bucket list. I'm excited to see how that goes, and I will sign up for the first glamping trip for sure. So Felix, like, what's your bucket list item? What are you looking forward to a year from now in Puerto Rico related to real estate?
Yeah. Well, there's definitely a few things. I think that the one thing that really stands out for me is definitely getting that first project of us, up and running. So we should have it by late 2023. Late 2020. We're in 2021 right
2021, yeah.
Apologies, my years are messed. But yeah, for late 2022, we should have that project fully open, and hopefully we can make one of this podcast up there and the nice rooftop bar that we're gonna have there.
That'd be awesome.
So yeah, we're very excited about that project, and I think that's definitely one thing that stands out for me. Apart from that, kind of going more to the Puerto Rican side and my own side, it's more about like seeing more of our community grow. So I know that a lot of people are moving to the island, and it's getting better by the day. So that definitely excites me a lot about the future of Puerto Rico and the future of my people. So.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
Beautiful message.
Yeah.
Wow, I hate to follow that. I should have gone for it because that's just that's beautiful. But I think for me, I want to just highlight again, like you said, the opportunities here. A year from now, I hope we'll have 20 plus long-term rentals around the island, and a good chunk of them affordable housing. And I think bringing that institutional knowledge, like how to layer grants, tax incentives to create more affordable housing and still build generational wealth. In a year from now, that's what we've done, and we've shown people how to do it too, especially young people. We started out in real estate with no funding of our from parents or anything like that, no wealth, but it's been really a game changer for us. So my husband Travis and I are often looking for opportunities to share what we learned with other people. And this is a really creative place. I don't think not many people our age are doing the kinds of things that we're trying to do here. And we want to make sure everyone knows this is for everyone. It's real estate for all. You can do it. We'll show you how. So.
And there's something special about you and Travis being here on the ground in Puerto Rico. So I know you're trying to connect with a group of people, back home, to encourage them to invest and find this generational wealth. There's not a better place in the U.S. that I'm aware of than Puerto Rico real estate right here, right now. It's 2010 type market stuff, which if you've been in real estate like I have for a long, long time, you know that means that it's a really, really good time to buy. We bounced off the bottom. You've got equity, you've got cash flow, you've got all of that. And you guys are here. You're doing it. Yeah.
So you were saying, Robbie, the more people hear about what kind of deals are being done, seeing, you have the hotel industry ramping right back up, long-term rentals, short-term rentals, affordable housing. There's so much insight we can draw from each other, and we have been to share. Okay, folks back home, let's do this. Let's grow this even more. There's opportunity here, and I think the more people hear these stories, the more they'll get excited and kind of minimize that fear and that risk. We're the risk takers.
Yeah, you've done it though. You've done it for them. I like what you said, opportunities, and it kind of leads into opportunity zones, which Felix, you want to?
For sure, I'll touch a little bit base on and talking about opportunity and opportunity zones. The one thing that makes Puerto Rico stand out compared to anywhere else in the States, 98% of the island is an opportunity zone. So if you're interested in putting your capital gains to work, for those people that have their capital gains and they're looking to invest into an opportunity, Puerto Rico is a great spot for it.
Beachfront opportunity zones. The only place in the country that
correct. So that's actually one of my opportunities. A beachfront property, beachfront hotel. Beachfront luxury hotel, not even, it's not even
It's better than that. Beachfront luxury branded hotel that's been in existence for decades and has a following. I mean,
correct.
It does not get any better than that.
It doesn't get any better than that, and guess what? That's in an opportunity zone.
Amazing.
So, and obviously there's a lot of regulation and a lot of checklist items that you kind of have to complete with opportunity zones. And here on the island, all of that is pretty easy to do because again, 98% of the island is an opportunity zone. So it's very hard for you to not live in an opportunity zone here in Puerto Rico, and that's definitely something that's very, very exciting for us.
Absolutely.
For anyone that's looking to invest, I think Puerto Rico is way better. Again, my bias self, but it is definitely a good market right now to come and invest.
And with Opportunity Zone, it's expiring in 3 years.
So it's actually, there's a 12/31 deadline now for people that are investing in opportunity zones, and they can defer the way that opportunity zone works is that you can defer your capital gains tax up until 5 years. So up until 2026 you can defer your capital gains, and then once you exit the property, for example, like both of our projects we're holding for more than 10 years. Or at the very least 10 years. And the reason why we do that is at the exit of the property is a tax-free exit. So everything that you get out of the sale of the property is completely tax-free. So that obviously makes the upside a lot better, and you put in together those fabulous tax credits, and it's an unbeatable market right now.
Exactly. And I mean, with the OZ being phased out, you said 2031?
2031 will be, so that will be for the 10 years. Yeah,
the 10 year.
We're holding for 10 years.
So we're gonna have to kind of get into that on our next episode. Probably do a deep dive into opportunity zones and really talk about how you set up a fund, how do you invest in a fund.
And in fact, right now on kind of going to that for people that want to learn right now. On Wednesday, we're having a Puerto Rico Opportunity Zone specific webinar So there's going to be great speakers there from Invest Puerto Rico, from multiple organizations. REIA is also going to be there, so Catherine. So there's going to be multiple people presenting there that are going to be showcasing, how to invest in Puerto Rico opportunity zones and how it is. So the event is it's this Wednesday. I'll be sharing the link down below.
Awesome.
Great.
All right. How about you, Zachary? So what do we have to look forward to this month? What do you have coming up, and how do people find you? How do people reach you?
Yeah, so obviously REIA Rico, REIARico.com, Instagram and Facebook. We have a WhatsApp group that we really have worked to have a really unique community there. So we want it to be only real estate, very strict on that, and collaborations and trying to bring more awareness of the resources here and everything like that. We want to bring more investors to the island. So we did a bus tour a couple months ago, bringing about 50 investors to the island, showcasing a couple opportunity zone projects. And we want to expand on that, showing other people's projects, Robbie's projects, other investors on the island, highlighting that people can get involved and they can be a part of this. They don't have to look at this from afar and wish they were here. They can be here as well in heart and with their money. So we want to bring more of those bus tours here and bring more investors here and try to bring value to other investors here. I think that's it. We're looking at moving the WhatsApp group to another platform to try to expand it, because WhatsApp only has 256 and we're full. So we're looking to move it to another platform or
Put it on a website.
Yeah, try to find something to bring more people involved in it and try to expand it. So yeah.
And we're doing a big membership drive right now. So
We
we have lots of people.
Yeah.
You have lots of people that have been coming to the events, and they kind of pay as they go, and it's great that they pay as they go. But you're doing at
we bring
least
a lot of
weekly
value.
events now,
Yeah.
so there's value for these people to join, and I just we want to tell people about that.
Yeah, we're asking for people's support with the yearly subscription for $249, and any other donations or sponsorships. We're looking for other sponsors to help out with the venue. That there's rent for the venue and food and stuff like that. We're creating a nonprofit because there isn't any profit in this right now. We're just trying to keep it even and continue to bring value to people and not go into debt while we're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think as someone who's real estate, just working, all of that, having the opportunity to go back to the videos for the speakers, I missed one on the opportunity zones in Puerto Rico that you guys did.
That was a good one.
Yeah, and I'm glad, being a member, I can go back and watch that at my own pace. That's makes it a lot easier if you're not able to make all of the meetings. So
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, no, definitely love that. And for me, you can follow my husband and I on our journey in real estate, coupled investments. Again, I think real estate is a big, big wealth generator. It's allowed us to be here in Puerto Rico, living our best post-retirement. It feels like life, we don't even care about retirement anymore. It's just living and doing what we love, which is real estate. So you can follow us for tips on how to take advantage of opportunities here and how to even get started. We like to share what we're learning from these guys and on our journey as well. So you can check out our website as well, liveaxios.com. And how about you, Robbie? Where do we find you? Get to know you, your projects?
Thanks. Yeah. So PR consultants, we're doing exciting stuff on the island. One thing we've recently started a YouTube channel, and so PR Consultants YouTube, you can find us there. We do have a baker's dozen or so Act 74 projects going on the island, so we're moving heavily into this opportunity zone and hospitality space, and we're always looking for partnerships, and we love looking at real estate. I I love being in Puerto Rico. I'm having more fun doing my job now than I ever have in my life. And I probably have been able to say that for most of my life. Life just keeps getting better. God is good. So that's it, you know. Thanks for taking the time to spend with us today. And
yeah, thank you all. Thank you, Adan, our amazing videographer, photographer. His information is going to be included as well, of course, because we wouldn't be here without this amazing setup that he has. And everyone else supporting, Catherine, Linda, getting us all together, Dylan, Travis, you know, we have a whole crew here. Like not everyone's seeing, but it takes a village, as they say.
It takes a village.
Every you know, bi-monthly or monthly or so, we're still working on the cadence. This village is going to come together and bring you the best from Puerto Rico and real estate. So stay tuned for more.
Beautiful.
awesome.